Zimbabwe adopted a new constitution in 2013 that has provisions that are more in line with the International Human Rights Charter as compared to its predecessor. Oxfam and a consortium of partners, namely the Law Society of Zimbabwe, LSZ, Institute for Sustainability Africa, INSAF, Women in Politics Support Unit, WIPSU, and Urban Council Association of Zimbabwe, UCAZ, is implementing a project called Influencing the Legislative Framework for Improved Service Delivery, Accountable Management, and Utilization of Public and Natural Resources.
Oxfam has been influencing the project, influencing the legislative frameworks for improved service delivery and accountable management and utilization of public and natural resources since March 2015. This is a project that Oxfam felt it's imperative for Oxfam to embark on, given the amount of resources that Oxfam invested during the constitutional advocacy period before we had the new constitution. And when the new constitution came into being, as Oxfam, we felt that it would be good to make sure that the constitution, that is beautiful as it is implemented for the good of the ordinary citizens in this country. That's how this project came about. This project came about so that we influence the realignment process as is taking place, being championed by the government. The niche of this project was really for citizens to bring out their voices on what has been happening on the ground.
Inini chilo yachirikuitwa nemaloya nemapartners awo chandifadza kuti wari kutivhura pfungwa. Tiri kuona kwatiri kuenda nekwatiri kubva. Nekuti tenge tingori vanhu vagere mugomba izvo tiri kukakatwa mugomba matanga tiri kuti tivhurike njere. Bumbiro remutemo takarisa asi hatisi kuona kuti chii chiri kutora nzvimbo. Saka iye zvino maloya paauya achititaura kuti zvinhu zvakati ngatichibatanai kuti tigadzire pamwe chete zvinhu zvacho kuti zvione kuenda mberi.
During the sensitization, consultation, and validation process conducted in different areas, including Harare, Shurugwi, Zhishavane, and Bulawayo, many people sought to ensure that model laws would guarantee the best interest of every citizen, and they made their voices heard in many different ways.
This is a very crucial moment. Why? Because it seeks to go back and find out from the people what they would want to see. And probably if we are going back to the theme of the project or the project objective to influence service delivery, accountability, these are key principles which go back to the issues of people, which go back to grassroots setups. So I think the validation process, in as far as the setups were concerned and the target groups were concerned, they were very informative and they were very essential. Why? Because we were really going out to people and finding out what people would want to see.
Bills and laws are made for the people and they are for the people. So it is quite important that the people take or are included within that process of coming up with the model bills, because these bills and these laws are made for them. So if you don't consult people, probably it do not make sense. So people's consultation is quite important in coming up with model bills.
Program Oxfam, I think it's going to be helpful to us. Firstly, we consulted it, and I think pakati wa consultation papane vanhu vakawanda chero mayouth yanga akawanda, and their input yakadini yakataura especially pama issues mines and minerals act. Our input yairipo, and which pavauya takwanisa kuona kuti our views were captured, and if ikaita enacted inokwanisa kunge ichitibatsira kuti tinge tichishanda zvakanaka.
The validation process that was done today by the Law Society, Oxfam, and the other partners, to me, I think it was a very good exercise, because we are talking of the community participating itself. And I was privileged to be there in the previous meetings that we had. And I think today they are going to be coming up with a document where they are saying the people spoke with the people's voice, of which I think it was a very good exercise.
In order to speed up the realignment process of economic empowerment laws and policies, model bills were crafted that mainly focus on agriculture and environment, local governance and extractive industry, as highlighted by the provisions in the new constitution.
So we zeroed down on agriculture, we zeroed down on local governance, and we zeroed down on mining. We then developed 5 bills. These 5 bills were on local governance, on the metropolitan councils, they were on the land bill, the environmental management bill, and on the mines and minerals bill. These were the bills that we then ultimately, with the partners that we're working with on this consortium, to develop. And with them, the real purpose was to make sure that we influence the Ministry of Justice, the related ministries, and they embark on the realignment process so that at least they take some of the concerns that we felt there were gaps between policy and practice and that were coming from the people.
Our basis is the Constitution. Now we're using the Constitution as the yardstick. Even Section 3 of the Constitution says the Constitution is the supreme law, and every other subsequent legislation should really take heed from the Constitution. So I think as law society, what we have tried to pay particular attention to is what the Constitution is saying.
Preservation of the environment is a crucial provision of the Constitution. Therefore, the Land Bill highlights the ways in which the environment should be protected.
Of coming up with a model bill is to make sure that all the powers and functions in terms of a new piece of legislation, which is the Land Bill.
Kumbirawo kuti government iongorore mutemo unoita nezvekubhadhara kwavanhu mari per hectare vachitarisa nzvimbo yavanogara uyezve nerainfall pattern.
The Mines and Minerals Bill seeks to address the conflicts between farmers and miners, as well as involving women in the mining sector.
Matambudziko atiri kusangana nawo kunoku ndeevanhu vemamines, asi major problem kuno makorokosi. Tiri kuwana matambudziko akawanda. Gore rapera paseri takarasikirwa nemombe 3 dzawira pamakomba. Hapana compensation yatingawana. Tingafara kana hurumende yambowedzera kuda paconstitution yatinayo inyuwana iyi, kuti tione kuti mafarmers mutemo unova protector here pamamines ava vanongouya vachiisa pamamines. Ava vamakorokoza vanongochera pose pose vari kutodamage environment, because one pavanochera vanotora huni vachivesa moto, vanochera makomba, then vanozosefa futi pedo nenzizi.
Problems with illegal mining. We have a lot of illegal miners out here on our farm who go around detecting for gold, digging holes all over the place, not covering them, destroying our fences. Now it seems like mining just supersedes everything. I think if corruption was controlled, illegal mining wouldn't continue.
So there has been this perception that mining supersedes farming. In terms of environmental management aspects, the environmental management laws, for example, what is called the Environmental Management Act, actually supersedes, I would say it supersedes the Mines and Minerals Act. This should actually be addressed, and the model mining and minerals bill should address that. That discourse, I understand, has been left open by the Ministry of Mines for debate and discussion by Parliament once the bill is brought to Parliament. But I think our own model bill should look at balancing the interest of the two, the interest of the farmer and the interest of the miner.
Panyaya yemining vanhukadzi vari kudzvanyirirwa like kuwana basa mumamine just because vanhu vanongotariswa pasi kuti havakwanisi maybe kuita mabasa iwawo emine. Saka maybe panofanirwa kuitwa mitemo yakanyatsokusimba kuti vakadzi vapuwe mikana yekushanda mumamine. Vese vanenge vakanganisa mitemo iyoyo vanotendedzwa kusungwa chaiko, kana kuri kutendedzwa kusungwa ngavasungwe.
The program articulates on issues of gender. It gives room for women to participate in mining activities.
The fundamental provision of the new constitution, especially on gender equality, disability indiscrimination, and socio-economic rights, inform the legislation that governs basic service delivery.
What is clear is that since the adoption of the new constitution, there are areas that need to be aligned so that the local government legislation is in line with the constitution. There are a number of issues.
City Council kumele ikhangele kakhulu kithi ama-disabled people, ama-people living with disabilities, ukuthi nxa bebona ukuthi i-environment yabo ihlanzekile, njalo futhi bananzelela ukubana thina ama-disabled nxa kuyi-load shedding sithwala nzima kakhulu.
Mumusha hamuna kumira zvakanaka, tsvina, kubhazhuka kwematoireti, unono report apa panogona kupedza kana svondo wasati wauya wachitaura kuti hatina mota yekufambisa. Zvinhu zviri kunetsa sereka tizive kuti toita sei.
Mari irikubhadharwa nevanhu muno haisi kuenderana nemabasa ari kuitwa nekanzuro. Because tikada kuzitarisa kuti mvura chaiyo pamatepi haibude, but tinobhadhara mvura every month. Vanouya vachitora mamita but mvura yacho haibude. Saka tizoti mari yacho yatiri kubhadhara iri kushandei.
Nxa singaba le transparency kakhulu kuma local authorities, sithole ama report back on ama meeting wonke ababalawo kwenzela ukuthi, like for instance ama audit reports, izinto ezinjalo, lama budget sibekwazi ukuthi izimali zisebenza njani, kungaba ngcono.
As Oxfam, we are fully supportive of the initiatives we are fully supportive of the process that the government and people of Zimbabwe have taken in coming up with the new constitution. We are also convinced that the new constitution has got many basic provisions that are in line with the international human rights architecture. And as far as that is concerned, our position is to fully support the government and the people of Zimbabwe in implementing the constitution.
Entrusted by the mandate of being the custodian of the composite interest of the people of Zimbabwe, the new constitution should be aligned with all the laws. This is a process that every citizen should participate in, especially in influencing the lawmakers in the adoption of legislative policies that represent the people's views, hence the improvement of service delivery, accountability management, and utilization of public and natural resources.